2024 Carolina Panthers went 5-12, finished third in the NFC South.
Sneaky.
Sneaky. I will say this. I think we were a year away on the Carolina Panthers. I believe last season we thought that they were going to win like 7 games, and they
We were a
somehow
year
ended up.
early.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They finished with 5.
I do think, real quick, sorry, and then you can keep going. And I don't think nobody everybody absolutely quit on what's his name, on
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. We never quit on Bryce Young. We actually thought the Panthers were going to win 7 games. We thought they'd be really good. Honestly, everybody picked them to have like the worst record in the NFL. We were not on that. We actually had some high hopes for the Panthers. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, there was a stretch towards the middle of 2024 where they were right in a lot of these football games against some really good teams. They did beat the Giants week 10. Then they had a bye week, and then they played the Chiefs in week 12 and lost on a last-second field goal. They played the Bucs the following week and lost on a field goal. They played the Eagles the week after and lost by a touchdown.
That should have been an Eagles loss.
Basically at the buzzer, right? Like he played a lot better football towards the end of that season. And I think if you're a Panthers fan, you have to feel really good about basically the last third of the season for Bryce Young and for the Carolina Panthers.
And shout out Bryce Young. Shout out Bryce Young for getting benched, never quitting, coming back and balling out and doing his thing. Like that guy, I really think he might be built different, but go ahead.
I do want to just talk about the guys that they've brought in free agency. So
let's hear it.
To start it off, J.C. Horn gets paid on his extension a 4-year, $100 million deal, $70 million guaranteed. What do you think about that?
I think J.C. Horn's one of the most underrated corners in the entire NFL. I think
when he's out there, he's phenomenal.
I think it's fair to critique him for his injury history, but his injury stuff has just been so bizarre. It hasn't been anything major. So I don't think it's even that big of a deal that they went ahead and paid him. And that's what you want to do. Everybody that like thinks that like that's not something. As an organization, you want to draft a guy and you want to get him to a point where you re-up him on a contract. That is the best possible thing that you could want as an organization. So shout out JC Horn. I actually hung out with him in person. He is literally big as hell. He's like 6'3" or 6'2", 6'3". He's like really like he's a massive corner.
That's your prototypical lockdown corner.
And he's like a big body bull. Like, so I think he's super underrated. And I think that was like the smartest thing that the Panthers could do is keep a young guy in their building who's going to be really good for them.
Yeah, they pretty much locked down their starting corners this offseason, which is great for them. They also re-signed Michael Jackson, not the singer, for $14.5 million over 2 years. So they've got their starting corners set in Carolina for this upcoming season. They also brought in who else did they bring in here? They signed Rico Dowdle as a backup running back. Nothing really crazy. No, I don't hate it as a compliment to Chuba Hubbard.
They got Adam Thielen back.
And they currently sit here with the 8th pick in the NFL draft. What do you think the Carolina Panthers do at 8?
I know that this might be something that you might not agree with, and a lot of people don't. I think that the Panthers at this point are going to be picking between either Abdul Carter or Mason Graham at that 8 spot, depending on which way the Jets go. I think you could probably talk me into the Jets not taking Mason Graham because they have Quentin Williams, but I think that those are going to be the 2 guys that they're going to be picking for. And at that point, it's just best available. You're going to take the best guys available on defense. I said this to somebody the other day and they're like, dude, don't get too cute. Like you're overthinking it, like blah, blah, blah. I'm not overthinking it.
If both of those guys are there, why would you pick whoever
people
you like
are saying
more?
Because Abdul Carter is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I think the Titans take a quarter. I think Titans take quarterback, so I think it's like Cam Ward, and then I think Cleveland Browns take Shador Sanders, and then let's just say 3 hypothetically. I think that the Giants go Will Howard, then I think the New England Patriots go Travis Hunter, I think the Jags go Tet McMillan, I think the Raiders go Will Johnson, and then at 7 the Jets could go Mason Graham or Abdul Carter, and then at 8 the Panthers could either have their pick of Abdul Carter or Mason Graham. I don't think that is like that crazy of a take, and just the way that the board's going to be playing out, I think those 2 defensive players might be the most talented defensive players in the entire draft, other than Will Johnson, the corner, who I think is going to be really good. But I think that's the pick that they could possibly have, and I think that could be a massive cornerstone for them for a long time.
So we're not just going to glance over you saying Will Howard to the Giants at 3.
I didn't say that.
Who did you say? Will Johnson?
No, I said Will. Yeah, Will Howard. Will Campbell.
Okay, I was going to say, holy shit.
No, Will Campbell, the tackle.
The tackle from LSU, yeah.
Yeah.
You said Will Howard. I was like, wait a minute.
No. Will Campbell, the tackle.
No, I got you. That's totally understandable. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if those guys are both available, I think you've got to be absolutely thrilled if you're the Carolina Panthers.
You're just going to be it's literally I think the Panthers are going to be at a point where if they're going to have a point where Tet McMillan might fall if he doesn't go 5.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter or Mason Graham. And I think that those 3 guys, I just think that is like, you're like salivating if those are who you're picking from, honestly. If that's how it
3 guys that could easily be top 5 in a lot of other drafts. Like they were all top 5 guys coming into the draft this season.
Yes, exactly. And just the way that teams need quarterbacks, they might luck out and get one of these guys at the pick that they're at. What do you think that they do?
I mean, I can't disagree with you. If those guys are there, I think you can't go wrong with any of them. I think they probably do need some help at wide receiver, but because I think that Adam Thielen is 33?
Yeah, he's old.
34. And who was the guy that they drafted from South Carolina last year with the accent? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Let me see here.
Xavier Legette.
Yeah. I don't know the type of production that he necessarily had, but also I think it's fair to consider the fact that Bryce Young really didn't turn it on until the later half of the season. So those numbers are likely going to be skewed. I don't think you closed the book on Xavier Legette by any means, but
my only memory of Xavier Legette is him dropping the touchdown to win against
the Eagles. Yeah. Yeah. But also how many games did you watch with the Carolina Panthers besides the last couple of minutes if they ended up being close?
All of them. He had decent games. Yeah, he had some decent games. I wouldn't say he jumped off the page though.
Well, I don't think it's worth closing the book on him yet. I think that you probably have Thielen for 1-2 more years max, but they definitely need some more weapons on offense. And if McMillan's there, I definitely don't hate it, but I do think if Mason Graham or Abdul is there, I think one of those 2 guys gets taken before Tet.
You would have to think.
So if one of those 3 guys is somehow on the board, I think you got to go with one of them. And I don't really think you're going to be mad about any of them, because didn't Tet McMillan just run a 4.4 at his pro day?
Allegedly. There's no video of it, which is weird.
Yeah, no video of Wilt scoring 100 either.
Yeah. So maybe.
We'll see. But yeah, so I don't know. I felt good about this Carolina Panthers season. Like I said, I think we were a year away probably. And I think this upcoming year, they'll probably be even better. So anything else you want to talk about with the Panthers?
I don't. I think that this Panthers team has, and we'll get into this when the draft is over and we're previewing teams, like this is like an early team where like I think that this could be an opportunity for them to win this division.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I refuse to pick the
Bucks.
Yeah, I refuse.
I just think it could be the year that they could get over the hump, but we'll get to that after this entire period's over. But as of right now, last season, what they've built upon and the Bryce Young confidence going into this year, how could you not be fired up? I think Dave Canales is a good head coach.
Yep.
I think that they get this thing figured out. So shout out the Panthers.
White clouds blowing out when we max 4-5, not the size, but it kick up. Highlight of my life, man, attraction.